Morning. I'm walking through my beans. I feel moisture on my legs, which is a good thing. That means that they're still dew, and as dry as it has been over the last few weeks, it's kind of ridiculous. Now, this is where I showed the last time. Let me flip the camera around. We're at this farm here. These are the soybeans, and this is where I had to replant, and I had like 50 deer on these beans, and I haven't done anything to them per se. I used the deer repellent on it, and then we got rain, but now it hasn't rained in a while. And what I'm doing is just scouting to see what these things are looking like, how much damage the deer are doing, how many weeds I have to deal with. I have this stuff, lamb's quarter, and as you can see, as I go farther back, the beans get shorter and shorter, and I'm getting more and more weeds that need to be dealt with. And you can see that there is a definite reduction in the size of these soybeans. Now, these are the replant. Well, this isn't replanted here. This is not replanted. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here with Legrium and Roundup. Okay, Legrium is Liberty, and Roundup is, or glyphosate is Roundup. I am unable to, for some reason, to get the generic Roundup. But the reason I'm going to use the Legrium on here is a couple of things. It gives you a broader spectrum of control, and this is where the replanted beans are. So the deer have been encroaching this, and the reason, and now they're getting taller, right? So why are these beans getting taller here? It's because they're less affected by the deer. They're thicker, planted thicker, replanted in a thicker, there's more. But now you see why I need to come in with the Legrium. And we got bugs. I see mites. So, and the corn is actually, that corn is just going to put on a tiny little ear and cause me a big old ass ache. But that's what it is. This is all the volunteer corn. So we picked corn, or we harvested the corn on that side of the field. When we got to this point, it was such a low quality grain, because I planted this on the 5th or 6th of July, 5th of July, I guess. It was such a low quality grain that it wasn't. What is with this swarm of bugs? What are those? Some kind of weird bug. Anyway, it was such a low quality that I said to hell with it. And we just left it stand. And I shouldn't have. I should have just combined it, had the boys combine it, and sell it anyway at that low quality, even though it wouldn't have, I was getting dinged a little bit for that. It was pretty bad. And I was embarrassed by the quality. It was a test weight of 43. It was just awful. But if I get this corn under control now, and we get some rain, which is what I'm really hoping and praying for, and there's nothing here that hasn't been affected. Look, this is all deer damage. They bite it down to the base, and this is just all, doesn't matter where you are, this has been bit off. So if I get this corn under control, it's kind of serving as a dual purpose as well, though. If you could see where that corn is, the beans are taller, and there's a reason for that. The beans are taller because the deer don't like to stick their face down in the in the corn stalk. So if you see where I'm at right now, you can see it's very well affected. But then I take a few steps over here, and it's not affected at all. But there's lamb's quarter and all kinds of stuff in here. So that's what we're dealing with. Now, I do have some insects in here, so I'm going to go ahead and put the insecticide in. Okay. Yeah, okay. So we've been going through a super duper dry spell. When I say a super duper dry spell, we had 3 weeks of no rain on some of the, 3.5 weeks of no rain with some of these farms. And we had 2 weeks without, a little over 2 weeks without rain on other farms. But to really sum it up easily, we've been in a rain deficit since about, oh my God, about the end of May. Hold on here, my little baggie was going to fall off. Since about the end of May. And the end, it kind of sucks because, hold on here, I'm just falling apart. Been in a deficit since before the end of May. Just kind of a pain in the ass, right? So a tenth here, 3/10 there, half an inch, a couple more tenths, and all it did was kick the can down the road. Then we got a decent rainfall here at home, at the home farm, but not all of it. But it was enough to, you know, just kick that can down the road for a week, but we needed more rain coming, you know, the next week. But it didn't happen, and then 2 weeks goes by and things start getting funky. Soybeans start wilting, and corn is already curling up north where they were a week and a half or a week or so without rain. So we were just I was starting to get a little depressed. Now I've got corn over in Flemington, which was, I'm gonna say that was better than 3 weeks without any rain on it. It looked awful, awful, awful. Well, yesterday we got 2/10. The day before we got 1/10, and then in the middle of the night, I believe we got either 3/10 or a half an inch. I'm not sure if William dumped the rain gauge or not. He may have. I don't know. But whatever it is, and such is life. I don't think he dumped it. So there's going to be something like a half an inch in total yesterday at my house. Now, when I get back to the farm, I'm going to look and see what it is, and I could probably, you know, say something about it then. But I have I have a field of corn over here that I need, or farm. It's 170 acres of corn over here. And the last time I was by it, it was horrific. I could not believe how dry that was, and it's dry, droughty ground anyway. But I'm going to go over there now, and we're going to see if it got any rain yesterday. I'm not sure that it did. I'm hoping that it did, but I'm not hopeful that it did. Well, I'm hopeful that it did. I'm not expecting that it did. You know, whatever it was in the middle of the night, it could have been more up here, could have been less than a half an inch up here. I have no idea. But for the most part, I just want to see if it is uncurled from the day before. Yesterday it was curled up pretty tight, and that little 2/10 of an inch that fell when we were told we're going to get up to 4 inches of rain, it ain't looking very good up here. There's no water in these puddles at all. So anyway, I'll see you in the field. All right, I'm going to be talking to myself a little bit here, or to all of you guys. Yeah, the lighting's bad. I'm headed into the sun. So what I'm going to show you is what drought damage is on soybeans. And we did get a little bit of rain here. So I'm going to dig up a little bit of this dirt here in the spot where it's really, where you can see the drought damage really bad on soybeans. Yeah, shocking, but it's true, and we did get this little bit of rain, and I'm going to see if it's going to pull through it in the next few days. So let me turn it around. Here it is. Right here you can see the discoloration between the nice dark beans and then this spot. Well, this was the first soybeans that we planted, and you can see, let me kind of move my thing down to my feet, and I'm just going to see with my foot how deep I have to go. Well, we're getting some moisture there, right? Still dry and crumbly, but we got moisture down. That's about 2 inches deep, which is good. That's where this is, and we're going to see how tall they are here. You can see that they're coming back pretty good. The lower leaves are burnt to the point where they're dying. You see that brown, black leaves. Now, will these beans come out of this and produce? I have no freaking clue. I have no clue at all. You could see over there I had 2 spotted spider mites. I had to come in and spray those with a product called Hero. This field was never affected by the spider mites, even though I sprayed them all with Hero and glyphosate. And let's take a look down in here and see what we got. So there's some beans in there. Lower leaves are yellowing. Not really This is supposed to be some kind of super duper bush bean. And it's, you know, they tell you that, oh yeah, you're going to get 100 bushel to the acre off of that. I ain't never seen 100 bushel to the acre soybeans that I know of. Generally 50, 60, 70 could be good, but, you know, I don't know. There's pretty good pods there. But they're only 3 bean pods, and we got a long, hold on, we got a long way to go. It's August 3rd today, and yeah, these beans have been struggling. These beans should probably be another 1.5 feet tall, but because of the extraordinarily dry conditions, where we're just not getting the moisture to pull the nutrients up out of the ground and, you know, into these plants, it's just a little bit of a disappointment right now. But you know, you don't know until, I'm going to walk over here, but you don't know until you get into the fall. Once the combine hits it, you'll know whether what you're worried about is worth worrying about or not. So what I should have used on this was Liberty. These are Enlist 3 beans, and yeah, I didn't plant them very thick. I was told 140,000 is more than adequate. You could even reduce it from there. I shouldn't have listened to them. So I'm going to flip it around, and you're going to see the damage from the mites, and then you're going to see what I see, which is the new growth of leaves, which are going to fill this all. Maybe this is going to fill in. Maybe this is going to fix this. I doubt it. I think they're always going to be short there. You never know. But soybeans are kind of funny. They run on the moon phase, and the crop isn't made until August. So here's the damaged leaves here, and then here are the new leaves that are coming up. So the mites have been into it, but if you look at these beans, there's pods all over it. Now, will they be fully developed? I don't know. This field was the worst affected of all the fields that I had with mites. I sprayed them twice. I had thrips, I had aphids, and then I had these 2-spotted spider mites that were harder to kill than what I was using at the rate of hero that I was using. Now let's walk down here a little bit farther. I'm going to go to a seemingly unaffected.
Click.
Yeah, so she thinks that she thinks my tractor's sexy, I think. I don't know. You think my combine's sexy?
Super.
All right, so here it is, the combine. Now, we have been having problems. Can't get the thing to start. Won't start, won't start, won't start.
Oh, people will say, that's because you get New Holland. You should have bought green.
Oh, you're right. I should have bought a John Deere. Right.
Yes.
God, how did you know these people so well?
Eastern Shore Farmer.
If it ain't green.
Well, it ain't green.
Sure.
That's what happened when you buy a stupid yellow thing.
Anyway, let's talk about this combine because we can. I bought this combine used last year, and it really ran pretty flawlessly, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, we had a starter issue, so I changed the starter.
We hit the auger, but other than that, we were good.
Well, Teresa wasn't paying attention to
what I was doing. Were the one when you swing it. You hit a tree.
I hit a tiny little tree and bent that. I think it's cheesy anyway. It only cost $5,000, right?
$5,000 for that auger, yes.
Stupid, wasn't it? So anyway, went to start the combine. The batteries were dead. Okay, batteries are dead, no big deal, right?
Right.
Okay, well, it is a big deal because I put new batteries in it. And I turn the key and it goes beep, 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 like there's 16 different codes. There's something wrong. DCU not detected, and there's no 24 volts to the... Okay, sorry. Distracted. Squirrel! Yeah, but anyway. Cookie! This combine has a 24-volt system. Even though it only runs on two 12-volt batteries that are hooked to 12 volts. It's really weird. This thing has a really weird thing. Alternator only charges this battery, the upper battery, number one. This battery is not charged by this battery. The lower battery is charged by this thing right here. This is called a battery equalizer. So, if the charge in this battery, which starts the combine and runs the dose and control unit, if this thing is below the charge of this battery, this takes over and charges this battery. This also converts 12 volts to 24 volts to run the starter. I don't know how that little hole, those little pins, runs that great big starter, but this does it somehow. And then this battery here will run this to this to charge this battery up.
Okay.
If this battery is lower than this battery,
Yeah.
it will not charge this battery, and this battery will not charge that battery. That's what I read. I'm
Okay.
like, well, I thought the alternator charged it. But it does. So the alternator charges it, but this battery here will not reverse and charge this when the alternator has to charge that battery.
Okay.
Anyway, we have fought and looked and found, I got a bunch of information from New Holland. I called them yesterday on where this little device was, because I didn't think that this little device here could be the problem, because it didn't look like it's heavy enough to start this 10 point whatever liter engine, but apparently it does. I'm not sure if this works or not. This one's brand new. The other one yesterday, I did all the testing. You can see I've got my multimeter, and I've got a test light there. Everything wiring wise tested out fine, which led us to this. This is the problem. At least it's supposed to be the problem. Still not 100% sure that it is the problem, but we're going to find out if it is, because, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to change it right now. Now, I will turn on that light. Right.
Go in the truck. Go in the truck.
Oh, you know what? Oh, there it is. Okay, cool.
Be careful.
I need help.
You don't need help. You got this.
He does.
Yeah, he's a tough boy. He's a super strong.
Anyway.
0.
0, 9, 0.
Okay. It's in.
That's what she said.
It's in. Now the moments of truth. It's a handy dandy light, by the way. That really worked out. So let's see if we've got 24 volt, or if we've got power where we need it. Ready? Any green light come on? No, it wouldn't, because it's not charging. Let's go up and see what the, see if I've got a 24 volts to my key there. Who did that?
And I thought you were done.
Shit.
Shit,
Get out of the way.
we have no light.
Come on, you gotta get out of the way. You are now in the way, even more than you were before.
This is not my ball pen. I got.
Ooh, still the same.
Still the same. You need to get rid of that thing.
He's trying to do his combine, Dad.
It's not gonna work. We're not doing that. It's not gonna work.
It's not gonna work, yeah.
It's something else.
Damn it.
Something else. What the hell else could it be? There it is.
Oh.
All the same.
Ah, Jesus.
Nothing. What you got?
Click.
Alright. So we didn't film this tomfuckery.
There's a lot of tomfuckery.
It's a lot of tomfuckery. We have spent definitely 2 solid days down here and 3 partials working on this thing,
About a week.
not knowing what the hell was wrong with it. Kind of thinking we knew what was wrong with it. I knew what was wrong with it. I thought it was something was wrong with it, and I looked at it and didn't see anything wrong with it. Got a schematic, didn't see anything wrong with it. I don't know why that schematic. Oh, you didn't put that bolt in, did you?
I did.
Anyway, the schematic showed something similar, but I'm looking at it and I'm thinking this. So, anyways, we've tore this combine apart, inside the cab, outside the cab, replaced the equalizer that didn't need to be replaced, which is fine, maybe. The what else did we do? replaced a bunch of fuses, tested, continuity, resistance, voltage. What else was there? Batteries and battery cutoff switch. We know that there's a battery cutoff switch issue with this thing. Always has been, because the person, and it was confirmed again today by the New Holland guy, who didn't help us, by the way, really, other than one relay that we found that was bad, which wouldn't allow it to start, but we'd have found that eventually. That was funny. The battery cutoff switch, when I bought it, they had made everything solid. So they just bypassed it. The problem with bypassing it is that these computerized systems always have a draw on the batteries, always. So how do you kick that with your foot? Don't hurt yourself. Anyway, they always have a draw. So I sent Grant down here. Oh, don't break the thing. There you go. Sent Grant down here to pull the cutoff switch off and see to replace it or whatever, figure it out. So he brought it up. We cleaned it. You cleaned it all up, right?
Yeah, completely.
Put it back together, and the combine won't start. Won't start. Won't start. Won't start. Won't start. Do the diagnostics. No power. No 24-volt power coming out of the equalizer. It just goes beep, beep, beep. Blinks at you like, hey, something not right here. We're not making the right power. Blah blah blah. Today, last night we were pretty well whooped. I was pretty well pissed off about this thing, wasn't I? I'm doing very well with it. Like that. I am not giving up. I don't give up on these things. I wasn't about to give up either, but woke up this morning, came down here, tested a couple other things, got on the phone with New Holland again, and he says, dude, I do not know anything else to tell you. You're going to have to get a service tech in here. It's like, well, he says, let me get him to talk to you. He'll call you. He'll call you. And so I'm looking at my battery switch there.
Yeah.
There's a color-coded band. There's color-coded bands on the wires. There's black ones, but there's one that comes off of the lower battery. The lower battery only is charged from the... So that's how that fucker's charging from that equalizer. It's running through that damn little wire. That little wire converts to 24 volts, so that's where the power is coming from, the 24 volts. It charges the lower one because it runs on 24 volts, the starter and the dosing control unit, the DCU. Anyway, and like there's something wrong here. There was power up to that starter. It can't run off of a negative. That's impossible. So I took the negative off the bottom battery, put it to the positive off of the bottom battery, and the negative to the whatever. Yeah, how the hell did I do that? The positive went to the bottom, which goes to the ground, which goes to the starter, which then produces 24 volts. When I did that, she came to life. Almost. When we had a relay that was bad, number 15, just wouldn't allow the key switch to fire it up. Fucking swept over bees. So anyways, I haven't filmed any of this stuff because it's very frustrating, their language. What did I say? That there were two brothers butt fucking each other and then they moved on to their sister, created the engineer that
Oh my
built
gosh.
this piece of shit?
Wesley.
I think that's about what it was. That's about, it was something similar to that. Yeah, man, Fix It Again Tony was gonna die. I was gonna book a flight to freaking Italy and kill that motherfucker. Because this thing is crazy.
Red flag,
Well,
the
no,
red.
at the end of the video, the algorithm only goes for the first like 5 minutes or 2 minutes of the video, and then unless there's a complaint, then the algorithm goes to like halfway. But then if there's more than one complaint, the algorithm says, this guy's badass, right? So there you go. But only about 50% of the people that watch my videos make it all the way to the end. So for all the
50%?
yeah, all the ones that did not make it to the end of this video, fuck you.
Baby.
They'll never see it. They'll never know. Until it's in the comments. Hey, you know, if you're not watching these to the end, you got to watch. See what he says about you. Yeah.
Is that a bat? I just saw a bat.
You didn't see no bat. bat's holding the camera.
You living in the exhaust pipe?
It could have been. There's something came out of there.
There's something came out of there?
Oh yeah, that's a good bird's nest. I don't know, there's probably a big old catalytic converter up in there.
There's, yeah.
Fuck that thing. Gotta tear it out of there.
Not that hard. You just gotta find a program.
Quite honestly, I think it's already out of there because it blows smoke.
Yes, but if.
There we go.
But like I know with the new cases, the one we had at school, they didn't have the SCR. They had no depth. And that thing blew smoke like crazy because they had to burn at low temperatures.
And it probably was a pre-ignition before top dead center. It injected the fuel before top dead center. Those were the older ones. The 2303, that is like 2 degrees before top dead center. It starts the injection.
Because the def is only for the NOx. If they ran it cold, because NOx is produced with high temperature crap. And
This is another one of these money-making schemes this government has come up with.
yeah.
We're gonna make fertilizer price to farmers way higher so that we can put this shit in diesel engines so that we can charge more tax money. And the guy that paid to get me in office, yeah, that dude, yeah, he gets what he wants, which is more money in the end. Oh yeah, and don't forget the big oil company and the paper producers, because we've got plastic jug, right? Got to produce a plastic jug. And you can't just leave a plastic jug. No. Oh, no, you can't do that. You know what you got to do? You got to put that plastic jug in a cardboard box. Oh, yeah. And then you got to put ink on that cardboard box so it looks all pretty so that you buy it. Like, this is